Hey everybody, welcome to the backyard today. We've got some clouds, we have some drizzle, and we really have a cool breeze. I had to actually dig out a jacket, believe it or not. We're going to do some ribs for you today. And we got a rack of ribs here that we seasoned and put in the ice box for probably about 12 hours. We pulled the silver skin or the membrane off the back of the ribs. And we season this with a Montreal type steak seasoning with a little brown sugar. That's how we did it. It's a dry rub on this rib. Now, part of this video today is going to be about the presentation of this rib. We're going to try to do it unique or very unusual. We are going to take these ribs and we're going to make a crown out of them. We're going to fix them up like that right there, folks. What we're going to do is take some butcher string. If you don't have some, you probably need to get some. This stuff comes in really, really handy for a lot of things. We just want to pull a little string around there and get this tied up. This is not really going to change the way it cooks necessarily. Now, if you like basting your ribs with something while they cook, obviously you can't do that when they're vertical and not laying flat. But this makes for a unique presentation. And with the holidays coming up, you can do a presentation similar to this with this ring of ribs. And it just makes for a very different presentation for an inexpensive cut of meat. Now we've got our fire lit up back there. We've got oat going in there. We're doing pretty good. I'm going to get this set in there. There you go, folks. That seems a little warm, so we want to slow our fire down just a little bit. I'll pull the damper closed, stick my rusty trusty temperature rod in there, because that's, through the years, is what I've been able to be my temperature control knob on my old-fashioned barbecue pit. Okay, folks, while that goes in there, we're going to talk a little bit about sauce. You don't have to struggle a lot with barbecue sauce or sauce in general. A lot of people really fret over that. I have a barbecue sauce that I make. I like it. It's a vinegar-based sauce with some heat to it, but not everybody wants to go to the time of making their own barbecue sauce. So in here, I have about 4 tablespoons of a shelf-bought barbecue sauce. Now, this happens to be a sweet hickory barbecue sauce. And I have 3 personal issues with bought barbecue sauce. And I mean, nothing against any of it, folks, but 3 things that I dislike about it. They either have a tendency to have an artificial smoke flavor to them, which doesn't appeal to me very much, or they're overly sweet, or they have this tang or unusual flavor to them, which almost appears to be bottled. I don't think you can taste that, but there's a little something different about them, and I think you know what they are. But you can take a store-bought sauce that I'm particularly not fond of, just like this, and we're going to make it where you can make it your own, but using ingredients that you probably have around the house. All right, the first thing is they're usually sweet. We need to counteract that sweetness. Well, we can do that with vinegar. You can do it with ketchup. I'm sorry, not ketchup. We can do it with mustard. You can do it with anything like that that has a good vinegar acidic thing to it that'll help take that sweetness out. One of my personal favorites is dill pickle juice. And I want to add 2 tablespoons of dill pickle juice. Well, what's in there, folks? There's a lot of vinegar in there and a lot of preservatives around the dill pickle. But that's something that you're going to have in your ice box, and you can do that a little bit with that. Now, they typically don't have a lot of heat or any type of spicy type flavor. So you can add some garlic to this. You can add a little bit of cayenne pepper. You can add some red pepper flakes. You can add a lot of different stuff to it to get the heat. I wouldn't say put a lot of dry in there, because if the dry doesn't get well absorbed, it gets a grainy texture to your sauce, and you want that sauce to be smooth and enjoyable. Uh, Louisiana hot sauce, anything like that will work. This is one of my favorite. This is this chili pepper sauce, and I'm going to put about just a little more than 1 tablespoon of that in there. And I'm really bad about that, folks. I like to hit the bowl when I'm done, I guess you could say. You want to give this a little bit of stir. So we took this barbecue sauce that was off the shelf and we made it our own. Now you can make yours. You can add honey to it. You can add some form of molasses. You know, taste the sauce that you buy and make it the way you want. But don't forget about common things like pickle juice, sweet pickle juice. You know, there's a lot of things you have laying around the house that can help you out making something your own or tailoring it your way and making you a big fan of it. And there we have our own barbecue sauce out of a jar. All right, folks, we're going to let these ribs go for a little while and hope we don't get a shower. And we're going to come back in a little bit and let you know what we're doing. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the backyard. We had these ribs on the pit for probably about 2.5 hours. Uh, and they're still in this ring shape. Now, I know this is a simple pork rib. There's really nothing fancy about it, but the presentation goes a long way when you're doing certain events. You can put some roasted potatoes around the outside of this on a platter, maybe fill the inside with broccoli. There's a lot of ways that you can do this and impress folks with something that didn't really set you back a tremendous amount. And we have that sauce we made, and we can drizzle that sauce over the top and let it kind of run down the sides. And obviously we'll save a little bit for dipping. There you go, folks. And you have a nice presentation of something very simple, not hard to cook. You can do this in the oven, by the way, too. Put these in the oven, put your ribs on for about 225, 250. Let them go for 2 or 3 hours. You come out with the same thing I did on the smoker. And things with the smoker are things with me kind of in general. I'm a lot old-fashioned. There's pellet grills out there. There's fancy grills. There's stainless steel grills. There's all kind of stuff on the market today. Wood pellets, all forms of flavor additives and things you can put in it. I've got an old-fashioned smoker. There's no dampers in here. There's nothing. There's an air inlet valve on the side over there to let air into the firebox. It's straight through to here and up through the top. And I do have a setting on the top. The difference in the setting on the inlet and the outlet will regulate your temperature and balance your heat. You can have this part of the smoker at 350 to 400, and this can be 250 by the way you balance your heat. So there's a lot of ways that old things did exactly what the new things do today. You just have to understand how something like this works. In talking about things antiques, I love antiques. We can find antiques that I find them today and I don't know what they are. I've got to ask somebody. So we're losing things through generations. And taking a stick, wood, log, whatever you want to call it, and converting that into a heat that you can cook on and cook like this is an art that I believe in this world today is getting lost, and we need to bring it back. Simple Dutch oven cooking was done in pioneer days, folks. They didn't call it the same as what we call it today, but the woman had that in the fireplace in the house. She took a fireplace type shovel, she would get coals out and put it on the Dutch oven. So that philosophy and that way of cooking has been around a long time. And the campfire style cooking, simple cooking, is something that you'll never ever be able to replace. Because, in my honest opinion, when you want smoke flavor in your meat, you got to get it from real wood. So, folks, we had a little shower come through. We had to take our decorations down. But we're going to tell you to enjoy everything you do, but mostly enjoy your food.